Along with Royal Church, this is Aaron Sanders. We welcome you back here to the St. Clair College Sports Flex for Game 2 of our doubleheader in OCAA's basketball. Men's action as the Niagara Knights take on the St. Clair Saints. And Royal, when it comes to the Niagara Knights, yes, they are a young team. Both clubs started their season last night. Niagara started on the road against Lambton. They lost that one, but there's still a whole lot of promise for Phil Mosley's squad.
Yeah, I was just talking to Phil, and he was mentioning that his goal for the first half of the season is to establish an identity. And of course, I think every team has to do that, Aaron. It's important. And then once he's established an identity and his players are comfortable, then he's going to start to build confidence, and hopefully the season will improve. They'll get some wins and get into playoffs.
This sounds very similar to the St. Clair Saints situation, who started their season off on a high note yesterday, winning 93-85 against the Mohawk Mountaineers. They're set to go 2-0.
Yes, to be honest with you, St. Clair looked really, really good last night. Didn't look like their first game, I'll tell you that. They look like they've been playing for a while, together for a while. Certainly David Gomez Jr. is carrying on right from where he left off last year. And I'm pretty impressed with this Josiah Deere. He's a player.
He was a little bit ice cold in the first half, but he stood up and rose to the occasion in the second half, no question about it. Okay, so we have you set up for the Niagara Knights and the St. Clair Saints. That's the tale for you. When we return after this break, JP Justin Prince will join me on the call, and you're going to see the action unfold here at the St. Clair College Sportsplex. You're watching OCAA Men's Basketball on We Digital Productions.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Clair College Sportsplex for today's coverage of OCAA men's basketball between the 0-1 Niagara Knights and the 1-0 St. Clair Saints. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders here today as we're all set to go in the Mont's On Time Express broadcast booth. Let's take a look at your starting lineups for today's matchup, as it will start with the Niagara Knights side. Laquan Hilton coming off a 29-point performance will start alongside Johnny Richardson, Kevin Cooper, Stephane Augustine, and Jordan McDonald rounding out the starting five for Coach Phil Mosley and his squad. For the St. Clair Saints, they're looking to rebuild. They look to try and build upon their victory last night, with David Gomez Jr. making the start alongside Dalen Davis. Jalen Harmon, after a strong performance, starts alongside Josiah Dare, along with Glenn Willis-Paris, rounding out the starting five today for St. Clair, for the co-head coaches of Brendan Segan and Matthew Sykes. Just about all set to go today with the officiating crew of Matt Goebel and Brandon Tingley, along with Paul Carter. Again, I'd like to mention that today's game is presented by the Barber's Chair and Mont's On Time Express. For Mont's On Time, located in Windsor, Ontario, they're committed to any move, big or small, to make it quick and easy for their customers. Book your next move today at toll-free 877-250-8282. We're also today presented by the Barber's Chair. With more than 2 decades of experience, their team consists of experienced professional barbers ready to provide you with the perfect cut you've been looking for. Walk-ins are always welcome, or you can contact them at www.thebarberschairwindsor.com to book your appointment today. Getting all set to go here, Aaron, for basketball. St. Clair in the green, Niagara in the white. Should be a thrower.
Yes, you know what? The Knights trying to bounce back from an 84-75 loss last night, but I have a feeling they're not going to have a lot of difficulty bouncing back, because most of the team consists of second and third year players, especially leading by Laquan Hilton too. As for St. Clair, they want to start off with a 2-0 record.
Inbound, the tip, won by the Knights. We're underway from St. Clair College. Dribbling the ball up slowly, Richardson. Bullet pass to Hilton. Finding his man. Augustine, blocked away. Picked up by Willis-Paris on the chase down. St. Clair starts things out for the rejection. Starting off the offense with the switch.
So right out of the gate from his great debut in the OCAA last night, JP, Josiah Deere picking up where he left off.
And a quick shot made by Hilton. And that man had a heck of a performance last night with 29 points on the night. Meanwhile, St. Clair, 3-3 the ball game in the first minute of action. Quick shot, good by Willis Paris in the corner. And Willis Paris shot a brick house from deep last night.
Yeah,
he starts with that one.
He was ice cold from downtown. Now we have to find out if he could score more down the lane. Quick steal.
Stolen away quickly. Deere finds Davis. It's one back outside. Harmon gets his defender to jump, drops the N1. And St. Clair off to a stellar start today. Take a look at this one, Aaron.
Then again, what more do you expect? Jalen Harmon getting the step, having enough balance to flip the shot up, and now he's going to the line for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And Harmon, a transfer player from Macomb Community College, had won multiple championships in high school. Last night, had 7 rebounds in his Saints debut with 5 points, but as well had a lot of things pop out off the stat sheet.
Not to mention his hustle and everything else.
9-3 the score, a 9-3 run to start. Pick set by the Knights. Back down low. Working down low, McDonald finds his man. Putting up the shot in traffic, Cooper no good.
I like the wraparound pass from McDonald. That's just good awareness, especially near the paint.
McDonald, one of 8 returning players for the Knights. Willis Paris, no good.
Now he had a little more time to go look for a better shot. That one just didn't go for him.
Willis Paris contests the shot, meanwhile on the other side, no good. Deere takes it up. Deere puts up the 3, yes! Josiah Deere had a very slow start last night, but finished with 22. He starts with 2 triples, draws the quick timeout for Niagara.
Yeah, Phil Mosley's not happy with the good looks Saints have been getting.
Here's a quick look at that game last night. 93-85 was the score. The Saints were in a back-and-forth game, had led by as much as 10+ at some moments, but David Gomez Jr. led the way with those points in scoring with 32.
Absolutely. But again, the leadership pays off as we see the bench again. A very impressive effort to kick off their season as well. I want to quickly talk about their meetups with Niagara last season. They lost both of them. On November 17th, they lost a heartbreaker 77-76. And then on January 20th, where they traveled to Niagara, they lost at 72-67. But however, with this season, a lot of things could change. As for Niagara, you can see their core. They didn't change that much. So you could expect a closer game for both of these teams this year.
Score updates for out of town for the 2019 Women's Softball Championship. As you take a look at those scores, the bronze medal game, the Durham Lords came up on top with the W. Should note that it's a double knockout for the gold medal game, meaning Durham would need to win both of the games in the gold medal bracket to have a chance for the championship over Humber. That's currently going down in London at Fanshawe College. Action back underway after a 12-3 run to start the game for St. Clair, including 3 triples and an N1. Hilton puts up the jumper, yes.
You see, this is what happens when you have good position. You create the space, you get the fadeaway jumper to go. And that's an easy 2 points for Hilton.
Currently no substitutions yet as Harmon down the sideline, able to keep it in bounds. Tries to size up to Willis Paris again, corner triple just off the back rim. Picked up on the rebound that time from Augustine. Harmon, Hilton finding some space. Unable to harmonize that shot, no good. Deere taking it back up about 3 minutes into this first quarter here on Weed to Deer Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders. And the Mott's on Time Express broadcast booth as that ball takes an express trip out of bounds. Leads to first substitution of the game. Raheem Barty coming in for the first time.
The second-year forward from St. Catharines.
12-5 again, your score in the early going in this one. Harmon drives in traffic, draws the whistle. He's going back to the line to shoot 2. And again, Jalen Harmon, one of a couple transfer players technically. Of course, mentioned from the community college side in terms of the experience. Of course, Deere also playing in the OCAA last season for the Durham Lords.
Absolutely, and you know what? These transfers have been working wonders for St. Clair. Started, like I said last night, with Gomez Jr., Jalen Sykes, and Dalen Davis coming in. And Sykes and company saw that the system like that worked out. So they dug really deep into this for their roster this year as the first free throw goes. And we're only 2 games in, JP, but it's been working wonders so far. But the only problems I have so far is just the turnovers. We've seen it last night where they tried to do a little too much. So I'm sure they had enough time to calm things down and try to play a little more of the head games, if you will, so they could be more calm and be more confident about their abilities. Quick steal.
St. Clair 13 steals last night, starting with the steal again there. Harmon again to the line to shoot 2. Already 3rd foul of the game so far, that time going against Donald Mims, who had just came in the game.
And you know what? I said this before in the women's game, I'll say it again. When you find a way to get yourself to the basket and to the line, it's all because you are aware of the traffic, and that's what Harmon did on the fast break.
Harmon, first free throw attempt, first time missing today after starting 3 for 3 with the N1 opportunity. Quickly, want to talk about Donald Mims, the one who was called for the foul. 4th year of eligibility, had college experience in the States, came to Canada last year and played collegiately here, now is on another new program here with Niagara.
And you know what? That's really great. That's really great to hear that, too. And he's from Sacramento, California.
Yes.
Can you believe that? So you talk about the dedication to this team. My goodness. And the college itself.
Missed shot, no good. Davis able to find his man in the corner. Back to Davis, guarded by Hilton. Swung back on the perimeter. David Gomez Jr. to Davis. Sizes up. Finds separation off the back rim, no. Picked up by Mims. And Mims 7 foot, the tallest player on the floor by far today. Trying to come back on defense after the steal, stolen right back. Raheem Barty with the steal. Hilton gets the pump fake to jump, finding Richardson, no good. Second chance is good. Raheem Barty. 15-7, your score, approaching halfway through this first quarter, Aaron.
It's fast-paced once again, but that's what you have to expect here in the OCAA. St. Clair slowing things down scoring-wise.
Willis Paris, no good on the long shot. Picked up by Richardson again. Johnny Richardson coming off a game with 4 rebounds. He'll watch as the foul is called on the other side. We're going the other direction. That time on Mims, already a second. And that's going to bring in Daniel Locally. Of course, if you remember, that last name had coached in the MBLC, in fact, and a part of the coaching staff at one point for the Niagara's team.
Well, Grassler Coley was one of the coaches for Niagara a few years ago, and then with the River Lions. So that family goes many ways in the Niagara region.
Now up north in the territories at the moment, running basketball programs up there. Meanwhile, St. Clair on the floor. Second chance, not able to make it. St. Clair now has a lineup of Harmon alongside Petty, also featuring Jerry Mercury. Rounded the 5, Gomez Jr. and Deere. Whistle called before the shot. And they're going to wave off the shot on the push, on the chop on the wrist rather, for the first foul against St. Clair in the game today. They were fairly disciplined last night as well in the fouls.
Indeed, and you know what, that's a rarity when it comes to the men's team in the last couple of years, because usually with foul trouble, that really put them in the situation where they would lose the lead in the second half and wouldn't bounce back. Yesterday was a different case, but again, you can't judge everything on just one game.
Pass to the corner. No good. Picked up by St. Clair. Deere leads the fast break to Gomez Jr. No. Deere picks up the second chance, puts it back. Josiah Deere, he started cold in his St. Clair debut. Since the second half of game 1, though, he's been on fire. He'll watch as Petty strips it away on the fast break, puts it in. Darnell Petty puts it in.
An interesting run from St. Clair. They're really picking things up, especially on the transition. Harman and Petty just leading the charge.
Quick 4-point spurt, making it 19-7 with 4:11 to go in the frame. Whistle caught as we'll go back the other direction. And that's going to bring substitutions. Now bring Jordan Ramsey back in. Coming out is going to be, flip that on that side, and Sally Kasamba is coming in, for Richardson.
And Miles Hall comes in for St. Clair as well.
Drive inside, Petty rejected. Knights coming back up the floor. Slow back down once again by Niagara. Sally Kasamba. Finds locally. Driving inside, no good. Barty missing the shot, second chance, Boyd pass, second chance, points are good.
And it's been a while since we've seen that from Niagara. They desperately needed some responses, and they finally got one with that nice basket.
St. Clair started with that 12-3 run on the day. So far, just 9 points scored by Niagara with 3 minutes to go in the first. Gomez Jr., hard drive, no good. Mercury picks up the second chance. Hall swings it back outside. Whistle called before the shot. And it looks like they're pointing towards the clock. And a bit of confusion with the shot clock here and a bit of a discussion here. Again, on second chance opportunities, the shot clock resets to 14.
A little bit of discrepancy and a little bit of humor exchange from Paul Carter and Phil Mosley, the coach of the Niagara Knights. And they'll rectify the clock situation too.
And they're having that discussion right now. This is also leading to a discussion amongst some of the players getting ready to come in from Niagara. As Hilton comes in along with Simfo Ilunga, the first-year guard from Welland. So the shot clock is set to 7. After the discrepancy, 3:16 to go in the first. St. Clair ball still up by 10. Contested shot, Hall draws the whistle, and now that puts St. Clair in the bonus.
That's a cardinal sin right there, using all of your hand to try to contest a shot, leaning right in towards the body off that. You could have left the shot B because it was a tough shot to make to begin with.
As that's going to go on Kasanga. Should mention with Hall, our first-year player from Pine Ridge Secondary School in the GTA area, was very active last night. Rebounding, steals, points-wise. 11, 5, and 4 assists with the 2 steals last night for him.
You know what, again, it's going to show that these rookies aren't nervous when it comes to making their statement known, especially in their first game of the OCAA season.
Or more likely wanting to make a big impact.
Absolutely. So you know how eager they were coming right out of it.
21-9. Down low, stripped away again. Ilunga that time, the intended man. Harman down low, gets it.
How about his ability to change his shot in midair? We heard there was a timeout, never mind.
Buzzer goes off, St. Clair takes advantage with the triple. The same Shawo coming from behind to make the 3 as the timeout now is called. 26-9 your score. A stellar run for St. Clair in this ball game. But hey, hockey fans, did you know the Windsor Spitfires have flex packages that allow you to see the games you want to see around your schedule? Tickets for those for $6, $15, $22, and weekend-only games are available. Visit WindsorSpitfires.com for more information to keep up with the flex packages available amongst the season. Approaching about 3 minutes, make it 2 minutes to go in this first quarter here, Aaron. As we're back here in the Monson Time Express broadcast booth, Niagara not looking pretty offensively. They felt, I was talking with Mosley quickly last night, had felt they were good in stretches last night. This is not a good stretch.
No, this is not a good stretch at all, JP. They could not respond defensively because they keep on getting frustrated with the way St. Clair would change their shots or change their options on the fly too. That's one of the problems. And they're not finding other options down the offensive end either. So they have to find their ways to match up the depth and speed of St. Clair, because not only the transition game is killing them, it's just the instant reactions of either a broken play or them not being prepared offensively, as we see St. Clair applying a full court press with Harmon leading it.
Press backs off, though. Harmon so far with 8 points. He's lined up on the floor with Mercury. Rounding at the players, Petty, along with Shawo, as the ball goes out of bounds. Hall rounds out the 5, pardon me there, as the Knights try and get the offense going somehow here. Pass quickly, again, no good. Picked up inside the traffic by Harmon. Hall kicks it up the floor. Finds Mercury. Open, 3, no good to the left.
It wasn't a good shot because you had 4 Knights hovering around the rim for that rebound.
Bit of a hurried shot that time. Outside again, Hilton, no good. And Hilton, after a strong start, getting not involved in this game offensively. Mercury looking to get involved, is blocked. Niagara going on the fast break. Numbers down low. Losing the ball in the numbers. Off St. Clair, though, they keep possession. Substitution coming back in, it's going to be Jordan McDonald again, the 5th-year senior. He'll come in for Ilunga, brings back in the size, as well as the 3rd-year local Niagara Falls player of Johnny Richardson. Minute 46 to go in the first quarter, stolen away by Mercury. Mercury kicks it back, slow him back down again is St. Clair on the offense. Showell finds Hall, back to Petty. Petty gets some separation. Euro steps in, no good. Tapped out to Mercury for the second chance. Out of bounds down the baseline, turns it back over. 26-9 again your score. Want to mention though with Freddie Mercury, one of the top prospects coming in from Pine Ridge, known a lot for the natural scoring ability and his ability to be flexible for the guard or forward spot area.
And Jerry showed that late last night. Good steal from Shallow.
Shallow puts up the 3, yes! Second triple of the game. And a 20-point advantage for St. Clair in this first quarter already. Niagara looking to break up this cold spell. Hilton to Richardson corner. Back outside, contested 3, breaks the dry spell.
And that's something they needed, but they can't be too comfortable from downtown. If you live by the 3, you're going to die by the 3.
Barty making that triple that time with a man in his face. Breaks up a cold spell about 2 to 3 minutes. Hall to Petty, back outside to Shallow again, makes it rain. And Shallow, a strong 3-point shooter, and you can see why.
Yeah, it's safe to say he is not shy from making his debut last night, and this really shows it. 6 quick points from Shallow.
Quickly inside, out of bounds on the miscommunication. The defenders fall forward.
You know what? It's one thing to have speed, JP, but the problem is you can't maintain your balance to put off a good shot or have a good option around you, and that's what Niagara's trying to do.
And I think at the same time, that shot, Coach Mosley is already telling his players, take the shot. You're open regardless. Why the extra pass?
Well, why the extra spin move?
Exactly. 6 seconds to go in the frame. Shot clock is off. Hall sizes up. Finds Davis for the buzzer.
That's good. Oh.
No. The quick release, no good, but St. Clair is up by 20 after 1 quarter of play. Way back after these messages, you're watching We Teacher Productions from St. Clair College's Sportsplex.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front to Berg, a drive, a save. Basket, a nice shot. The save, and he's right in. Oh, and Joseph stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front, pocket, shoots. Oh, and what a save!
You're watching We Digital.
Welcome back, everyone, to St. Clair College for more coverage of OCAA men's basketball. The Saints are up 32-12 here on We Digital Productions. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monts On Time Express broadcast booth. And St. Clair's really had a strong offense in that first quarter. 43% from the field and 6 triples, making it rain.
And you know what? The majority from those triples are coming from Gwendolyn Paris, Josiah Deere, and Hussein Shallow connecting on 3 straight threes in the first quarter, and no exception for Josiah Deere continuing the three-point rage.
That's Deere's third 3 of the game so far, as Hilton puts up the shot and good.
And again, that's what Niagara needs to do because they had a whole lot of trouble down low in the first quarter.
Long jumper, no good from Hall. Hilton takes it back up, tries to cut in, finds his big man, yes. The quick shot, good that time for McDonald. 35-16 your score, about a minute into the second quarter here on We Digital Productions. Shallow
Oh my.
again hits it.
He is unconscious from three-point land with no misses at all.
And this is something that St. Clair wanted to see from him. Hilton, though, responds back with his own triple. And I've been surprised about the slow start from Hilton. He's usually a scoring machine. Traffic, meanwhile, inside, rejected away. Kador Ahmad on the shot. Up the floor go the Knights, meanwhile. Layup, it's good. That time it's Augustine.
It's been a while since we've seen Niagara be consistent in scoring. Now they're finding ways to get stronger at the basket.
And it was the question in some of the minds of how would they respond. We're seeing that response now. Deere no good on the triple. Rebounded by Augustine, nearly stolen away by Shawo. Knights dealing with the half-court trap. Trap backs off. Quick shot by Hilton, yes.
Okay, now he's responding, and that's not looking good for St. Clair, but what a response to start the second quarter, JP.
Timeout called St. Clair. Remember, on Sunday, the OFC playoffs get underway for the Windsor Fretmen, the #1 seed, as they take on the GTA Grizzlies. Start time is 5 p.m. Eastern. You can see that game live from the University of Windsor's Alumni Field here on We Digital Productions. That should be a stellar football game by far, but a stellar start by Niagara. And Hilton is not someone you want to get hot.
Absolutely. At the moment, he has 13 points, and looking back in his stats last season, you know, he did a terrific job for them. Laquan Hilton is one of those guys that Niagara's been leaning on for the last couple of years.
Meanwhile, I'd like to remind you that on top of the start of the Saints basketball season these past few days, Saints volleyball season is getting underway on Saturday, October the 26th. The ladies get underway at 2 p.m., men at 4 p.m. as they take on the Cambrian Golden Shield. Again, you can see that game live on We Digital Productions. Interested to see how those volleyball teams get underway for 2019-20.
Absolutely. Looking at it for the men's team, they got a brand new coach in them, so it's a brand new start for them. As for the women's coach, they're staying consistent with Coach Jimmy L. Turk at the helm once again, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out next weekend.
38-24 is your score. Meanwhile, in this men's basketball game for the OCAA, Shawo on the outside, lined up with Davis, Harmon, Willis, Paris, and Deere round out the 5. Rejected down low again by the Knights. Niagara looking to eat into a 14-point deficit.
What was that?
Pass to Hilton out of bounds. Well, it was obvious they wanted to go to Hilton just off the mark.
Again, with the speed, you have to be aware of that all the time.
14-point advantage still with St. Clair on the outside. Willis Paris to Davis. Davis spins into the traffic, can't get it. Hilton again getting the rebound, brings it up hard. Finds his man on the outside, spins inside. Back to McDonald, back to the mid-post, back outside. No good. Second chance picked up on the rebound. Back outside. Hilton can't make it swish. Picked up Willis Paris. 3 minutes into the second quarter. St. Clair being told to swing the ball. Deere resets the play. Davis has the mismatch. Backs up his man. Defender switch, can't get it over the taller one. And a good switch that time. Hilton, meanwhile, drives in, draws the whistle. Looked to be Harmon on the wrist. And that's going to bring up the first personal of the quarter.
And here's Niagara picking up the speed, and Hilton and Harmon was just right there. He was anticipating Hilton to put up the shot.
Substitution sees a couple new players come in. Petty along with Mercury. Mercury tries to defend, forces the missed shot. Deere finds Petty. Petty with the double clutch, no. Couldn't get it to go with the man coming hard with those footsteps. Hilton slows back down the pace for the Knights.
Saints are in a 1-2-2.
Over top Willis Paris, yes. And now he is starting to really heat up, Hilton.
Travel.
And a travel called, we're going the other direction.
It seems like since Willis Paris got onto a hot start with the first 6 points, he's been ice cold, and he hasn't been able to get out of the three-point lane.
And they say they're pointing towards 23 green, Willis Paris, the travel. So this is also going to see Richardson come back into this game. One thing to note with the softball score showed earlier on and told that the scores were final. Champions have been decided amongst those scores.
And we have to pay a big congratulations to the Humber Hawks, the 2019-2020 softball champions.
Absolutely, their baseball team looking to also compete in the gold medal game. Meanwhile, Hilton has the pick, back outside. Inside they go, no good. Augustine.
But how about the challenge from Augustine with Willis Paris?
Harmon sizes in, draws contact and the foul. And Harmon with the strong cut in.
Harmon first getting the fake down at the top, meeting Jordan McDonald, absorbing that traffic, and letting the shot go.
McDonald's first foul on the night. As an air substitution, we'll see Cooper come back to the bench. Going a bit more of a small ball lineup already is Niagara. As Harmon misses the free throw. Can't complete the N1 situation. St. Clair still leads by 13. 5:36 to go in the first half. McDonald back outside. Marty swung back around. Back to McDonald. McDonald over Willis Paris. Just rims out. And another rebound picked up by Willis Paris. Quick shot on the outside. Deere, no good. Hilton says thank you for the rebound, takes it back up. Tries to get the pick, gets separation, moving screen, we're going the other direction. And you can see that moving screen coming, trying to get the pick to get some separation. Way too quick in the sequence.
Yeah, things aren't going Niagara's way on the offensive end, so again, they have to tighten things up. They're down 13, and remember, it was early in the first quarter where things started to pick up for Niagara. It keeps on falling down. Harmon with the shot.
Moving screen goes against Barty. Back outside of the pass, going the other direction. And Richardson will bring the ball back out from the hallways. St. Clair has started to stall out a little bit. We've seen this a little bit last night. And we've seen this at the start of the third quarter as well. Is that a concern?
Well, that is a concern too. They're trying to be reliable from outside, but they haven't been finding answers as the shot this time goes for Augustine. But yes, it is a concern. They have to move the ball around and try to get closer. They have to contest Niagara too on the defensive end.
Deere rejected by Barney. We're staying on this side of the floor though with 11 on the shot clock. Two more substitutions, Davis and Hall back into the game, but take a look at this one.
Yeah, Harmon was just swinging around the Willis Paris, found a good opening in Josiah Deere. Now watch number 7 come right in and boom, right up front, Raheem Barty, nice rejection.
Saints have 7 on the shot clock though. Harmon, wide open, mid-range, just rims out. Good shot selection, just couldn't make the swish. Hilton, back outside to Barty. Misses the jumper. Hall picks it up again, tries to push up the tempo. Spins around one defender, back to a second player. Swung back out to Petty. Petty, finding Mercury, can't get it. And the Saints offense is stalled a bit ice cold for about the past 2 minutes.
And again, it's just the anticipation of the three-point shot.
Whistle called, second foul of the quarter for St. Clair. No, we're going the other direction, pardon me. They're saying it's on Barty. So they say an elbow from Barty, so we're going the other direction on the offensive foul.
A little bit aggressive. Niagara finds themselves back in this ball game because they're shutting the Saints down and making them force those shots. But on the other end, they haven't been finding answers offensively.
Davis, stripped away by Richardson. Pushes up a gear. Draws a whistle, and he'll go to the line to shoot for 2.
See, and now the frustration continues to pile on for St. Clair as the foul trouble starts to rear its head.
And the foul brings Richardson to the line to shoot for 2. So far, he's had a pretty decent game, but has had to come off and on. 8 minutes of playing time in that first quarter. 10-point disadvantage right now for the Knights after the first free throw attempt for Richardson. Misses the second. Scramble for the basketball, picked up by Davis. Here comes the pressure. They break out of the double team. Hall finds an open man in the corner. Petty steps on the sideline though. We're going the other way again. And that's going to bring back in Willis Paris here. Willis Paris, though, remember, was a backup center for much of his career so far, moving to a starting role this year.
Absolutely, and you know, it's rightfully deserved, too. A couple of years ago when he started, he was the backup center for Gil Atencio. And now with Willis Paris' ability to not only shoot, but to dominate down to the boards, too, that's mainly one of the reasons why he's starting.
Tough shot as Harmon falls down. St. Clair position as the ball goes out of bounds with 3:04 to go in the second quarter. And Willis Paris, one of the 7 returning players back for St. Clair. Willis Paris finding Mercury. Pump fakes. Back outside Willis Paris. Contested J, no good. Petty picks up the rebound. Back around to Mercury. Again off the back hoop. And Mercury is ice cold at this point, Aaron.
And so is St. Clair in the last number of minutes.
They haven't been able to buy a bucket for about 3 minutes now. Hilton buys one for himself from deep. And the lead's back down to single digits for the first time since the mid-first.
Absolutely. Hilton was a little bit quiet in the first. He's just striking rich here in the second.
Swung around the outside. Willis Paris nearly lost the ball. Petty to Hall. Hall banks it in.
So that breaks the cold spell for the Saints scoring, but they should not let up because Niagara's still in this game.
Swung back inside, meanwhile, by the Knights. The big man, Mims, makes the shot.
He used his reach to outwit his defender, and now Niagara find themselves stuck 8.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. St. Clair up by 8. Petty looking to the left. Swings it back to the right side. Hall over top defenders, can't get it. Mercury can't battle for the board, doesn't box out. Hilton brings it up. Hilton finds a quick pass.
Oh,
and
look
a
out.
Huge hit.
Criminy.
And the push-ups and the comeback up goes Augustine on the hard hit.
That's just a scary moment, JP. I mean, I know how ambitious these players are, but
Willis Paris on the hard foul breaks up the slam dunk attempt.
But we all know how aggressive Willis Paris is when it comes to blocking that shot. And my goodness, is he lucky to get right up.
Willis Paris as well as Augustine both stay in the game. And that brings a couple more substitutions. Also bring up that red-hot shooter we mentioned in Shao in that first quarter. Of course, with Shao, number 3, you see him at the right side of your screen, was a scoring machine in the GTA. Had the most 25-point games in the entire region. Ended up being runners-up to W.C. Kennedy Collegiate. Of course, the Clippers from Windsor in the opposite tournament.
Absolutely. So he knows a thing or two about Windsor as a good block from Richardson. That's just great timing.
And the 3 that time from Shao rejected. But he was also seen, of course, as someone that could be a threat with the perimeter shooting. He's been doing that today with those multiple triples in the first quarter. Hall finds his man on the outside for the long 3. No. Ball bounces off Willis Paris's face to Niagara's rebound. Richardson, bad layup attempt, no good. Shao takes it back up tempo. Drives it in himself for the bucket. Shao, with 46 seconds to go in the quarter, brings the lead to 9. Hilton, pick and roll, wide open Richardson. Gets Petty to jump as he bounces out of the hoop. Just 30 seconds left in the frame, 8-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Hall, Euro steps, loses the ball. And there's still going to be a lot to talk about at halftime, not just with you, but amongst the coaching staffs here with some of the adjustments. Both teams need some improvements.
Absolutely. St. Clair, they were ice cold and shooting here in the second quarter, while Niagara shut them down, which is quite the advantage.
Just a 1.5-second difference, maybe 1 3/4 difference, shot clock and game clock. 7 on that clock. 3 to work with. Hilton, 4-3, no. Willis Paris holds on to the ball as that ends off the first half. The St. Clair Saints lead 45-36 over the Niagara Knights. And an offensive sparkler. We'll take a break. When we come back, Aaron Sanders will be a part of your halftime coverage here on We Digital Productions from the St. Clair College Sportsplex.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to the Sportsplex. We're at the half. It's the Saints 45 and the Knights 36. I'm joined by the assistant coach for the Niagara Knights, CJ Smith. And CJ, it was a slow first quarter, but you guys picked it up in the second quarter. What changes did you guys make?
Just momentum changes. And then us just getting together and playing as a team. That's it.
Absolutely. And one player that stands in mind in this first half was Laquan Hilton. He had a cold start, but he was able to step up. How are things able to work out for him, too, in addition to what you said?
Just the team focusing on just getting the ball to him, moving the ball, getting open looks, and then freeing him up.
What more do you have to look in as you prepare for the second half?
Just stick to our principles like defense, all right, and just keeping everything locked in together.
Absolutely. CJ, thank you for your time and good luck here in the second half. Okay, at the half, once again, it's the St. Clair Saints 45 and the Niagara Knights 36. We'll take a quick pause, and we'll return with more here in the halftime show. You're watching OCAA basketball on We Digital Productions.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front the Berman drive, the save. That's a nice shot. The save. And he's right in. Oh, and perfect. Stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front, pocket, shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Do your Sundays need a little adventure? How about the Roundabout Trolley Tour? Originating from the Roundhouse Center in Windsor, the tour includes lunch, beverage tastings, and dessert. Boarding from the Roundhouse Center at 11:15 a.m. on select Sundays, you can spend the day touring Paglioni Estate Winery, GL Heritage Brewing Company, and Wolfhead Distillery. Returning to the Roundhouse Center by 5:30 p.m., you're sure to have the best fun-filled Sunday afternoon. Book online at wetrolley.com. Life is about the ride, so get on and trolley on.
All right, welcome back. I'm now joined by the co-head coach of the St. Clair Saints, Matt Sykes. And Matt, there was a little bit of some issues in the second quarter. One thing that came to mind was the little bit of a scoring freeze you guys had. What happened there?
Oh, shots weren't falling. We were settling for threes a lot. Too much settling. We got the ball moving early well, and that's what was the key to our offense. And we kind of got away from that a little bit, and I think bad defense kind of hurt our offense a little bit too.
Absolutely. One positive, though, Hussein Shallow coming off the bench and just being unconscious from three-point land. We talked about how important these first years were. What more can you say about these guys?
Oh, they're great. You know, they come in, they bring the intensity. He saw him, said, unbelievable scorer, and that's what we got him here for, score the ball, and that's what he's doing tonight. I love how he bounced back after last night, and he's a great player.
We see a little bit of more depth on Niagara's side. How do you counter that for the second half?
Yeah, we gotta go deep in our bench too, and we need to keep them off the glass. And number one, Laquan Hilton's killing us, so we gotta make sure we do a better job on him.
That's right. He has 19 points. There's got to be some way to stop him. Yep. So all the best to you, Matt, and good luck at the second half.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Sykes, the co-head coach of the St. Clair Saints. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, we'll have Royal Church join me as we break down the stats and facts of the first half. Stay where you are.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Hi, I'm Curtis Joseph, former NHL goalie.
Butcher goes down. Look front the Berman drive, the save. That's a nice shot. The save. And he's right in. Oh, and perfect. Stops it behind the net. Marksman wipes it right in front, pocket, shoots. Oh, and what a save.
You're watching We Digital.
Do your Sundays need a little adventure? How about the Roundabout Trolley Tour? Originating from the Roundhouse Center in Windsor, the tour includes lunch, beverage tastings, and dessert. Boarding from the Roundhouse Center at 11:15 a.m. on select Sundays, you can spend the day touring Paglioni Estate Winery, GL Heritage Brewing Company, and Wolfhead Distillery. Returning to the Roundhouse Center by 5:30 p.m., you're sure to have the best fun-filled Sunday afternoon. Book online at wetrolley.com. Life is about the ride, so get on and trolley on.
45-36 is the score at halftime. We welcome you back here on We Digital Productions. I'm now joined by Royal Church, and you know what? We've seen a tale of two basketball teams. In the first quarter was all St. Clair unconscious from three-point land, and then Niagara stepped it up, outscoring St. Clair 24-13 in the second quarter.
Yeah, you're right there, Aaron. It was like watching two different games almost. Like you said, St. Clair's shooting was phenomenal in the first quarter, and I looked up, and all of a sudden I see 32-12 for St. Clair College, a 20-point deficit in the first quarter. And it was kind of surprising because you could tell that the Niagara is a pretty well-skilled team and well-coached team, and I was kind of surprised that they could spread the game out that much, 20 points in one quarter. Then all of a sudden the tide turned right around and again, and Niagara started to get some scores, started to put together 2 or 3 baskets in a row. St. Clair was not shooting the ball so great after having shot the ball exceptionally well. So now we're here at halftime with St. Clair up 9.
How was Niagara able to shut down St. Clair? Because there were so many options that St. Clair had, but again, they relied mostly from three-point land.
Well, I think, Aaron, from what I saw, I thought that St. Clair got pretty much whatever shot they want the entire first half. They just made them in the first quarter and didn't make them in the second quarter.
Absolutely. One of the leading scorers for Niagara right now, Laquan Hilton, 19 points. He was cold to begin things, but we could see more of the responsibility on his shoulders as the second quarter went on. So Phil Mosley did a good job by putting it in the hands of Laquan Hilton. What a shifty player.
Yes, I noticed that Coach Mosley had his charges over here sitting down for a timeout, and he was talking to them and emphasizing that maybe they should look for Hilton a little more because he was their go-to guy and they weren't getting him the ball enough. So finally they started to get him the ball, he started to make shots, and that's when the game kind of turned around.
What has to happen for Niagara in the second half?
Well, I think Niagara just has to continue what they were doing in the second part of the first half there, and they got their act together a little bit just to get a little more energy, and you know, I say it over and over again, probably like a broken record, but the first 2.5 minutes of the third quarter will tell the tale about who's going to take this game in hand.
Absolutely, and for St. Clair, they have to find some ways to break their shooting woes.
Yes, although they're a streaky team, and they're a team streaky team, Aaron. It's kind of funny. One player makes a 3, and they seem to get a feel for the whole group, and then another player will make a 3, and then a different player will make a 3. So they can do it from all kinds of different angles and players. They don't really have just one player or even two. They have a lot of great shooters, and if any one of them gets hot, it can change the complexion of a game.
Well, it goes to show how far the chemistry goes with this team. There's no I in team, so you are dead on about that. We will see you at the end of the game. And as for you folks, we thank you for tuning in to the We Digital Halftime Report. Once again, at the half is the St. Clair Saints beating the Niagara Knights 45-36 at the moment. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, Justin Prince and I will call the second half here at the Sportsplex. You're watching We Digital Productions.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back, everyone, to the St. Croix College Sportsplex for more coverage of OCAA men's basketball. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders here in the Mott's On Time Express broadcast booth as we take a look at your halftime stats. Both teams shooting 33% from the field after the first half, but a couple things stand out still. Like the women's game, rebounds, points on turnovers off the charts.
Yeah, absolutely. St. Clair has the speed, but they can't find ways to control it. That was from the second half of the second quarter, but look at this. A +8 for St. Clair in the turnovers, +9 points off of turnovers, and 22-9 in rebounding advantage. That is pretty interesting to say the least, as it says right there, but we might have a little bit of a discrepancy.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Right, regardless, though, the boards were starting to pick up. Niagara made a lot of adjustments to come back from having their balls stolen away 10 times on some of their possessions.
Keep in mind, Niagara was down by 20, and then Laquan Hilton just woke the whole team up with this scoring surge with just about 19 points. But it can't rely on him all the time. They have to find some more ways to get the scoring down for Niagara, or else they'll go down 0-2 to start the season.
Indeed, there's a lot to think about at the moment as you look at those halftime stats for today's game. Again, 45-36 is your score at the moment for the St. Clair Saints over top the Niagara Knights. One of the players that stepped it up in that second quarter, by the way, again, was Laquan Hilton. 19 points in the game now after just a 5-point start into a 4 shooting. Since then, now 7 of 11 from the field, and that in turn helped bring this gap back down to single digits for Niagara.
They outscored St. Clair 24-13. It's just a phenomenal effort from them. 50% from the field was Niagara compared to St. Clair's 22.7. But that was all in turn of St. Clair's ability to basically chuck up 3-pointers anytime they saw fit.
The thing is, St. Clair also at the moment is currently leaving this defense in fits with 3 of their scores. Josiah Deere, 11 points, 3 triples. 10 points for Jalen Harmon, including a couple and 1 opportunities. And it's Sam Shallow with 14 points and 4 triples. What do you expect from both of these teams as they come out of the huddles?
I expect St. Clair to slow things down in terms of shooting, but I expect Niagara to be more aggressive defensively because they did a good job shutting down St. Clair and scoring through the majority of the second quarter.
Today's broadcasts are presented by Mott's On Time Express. Located in Windsor, Ontario, Mott's On Time Express offers its service to anyone in Canada or the U.S. with minivans available, including as well as 24-foot trucks. They're committed to any move, big or small, quick and easy for their customers. Book your next move with them today at toll-free 877-250-8282. Game's also presented by the Barber's Chair with over 2 decades of experience. A team that consists of experienced and professional barbers. Contact them today here via walk-in or at thebarberschairwindsor.com.
Jordan McDonald gets the easy 2 to go to kick off the third quarter for Niagara.
Underway once again here at the St. Croix College Sportsplex. Saints lead by 7. On the floor to start, Davis, Willis Paris alongside Harmon. Also see Shallow lined up with Deere. That's the 5 on the floor for St. Clair. Down low, Willis Paris gets the layup.
And we're seeing Willis Paris more accustomed down to the paint than from downtown. That's just a good look to kick things off for St. Clair.
Quick shot from Hilton, rolls it in. And now he is catching on fire.
What a robust reaction.
Was taking a look at the stat lines for him last season before today's game. Had just 11 points a game per last season, but in a much smaller role. Remember, Van Hutchinson Jr. was the main offensive spark plug for Niagara last year. That ball tapped out of bounds off the failed defensive rebound. Resets the shot clock to 14 for St. Clair.
Now they have to find some way to get Glenn Willis Paris to cut right down to the basket off of this inbounds pass. Get an easy shot.
Instead, they have Willis Paris go to the high post, tapped away and stolen away by Hilton. Quickly passed inside through the traffic. Cooper good. Kevin Cooper. And Kevin Cooper only played 7 minutes in that first half, getting active now in the second half rather. Side Deer giving it off to Davis. Davis, no good. Harmon picks up the second chance. Davis overcorrects on the layup attempt, no. Hilton pushes up the tempo, approaching 2 minutes into the third quarter already. McDonald finding Cooper back outside Hilton. Screen set for Hilton. Hilton falls back, off the back rim, no. Cooper can't get the rebound. Deer pushes back up the tempo. Shallow outside for triple number 5, no good. Just a second miss from deep on the day so far, Aaron.
And remember, Shallow started off hot by coming into the second quarter. Hopefully this isn't an omen.
That was before he had that rejection on attempt number 5 of the game. Shot no good for the Knights. Fast break for Davis, finds Shallow again. Shallow cuts in, finds Deer. Corner triple, no. And Hilton picks up the board. The one thing for Deer, though, he struggled a lot in the corner triple last night. It seemed once he moved closer to the center of the arc, that's where the shots started falling. Deer trying to go for the defensive switch. Sees the whistle blown. Appears to be, yes, indeed, first foul with a quarter. This is why the whistle.
You can see Jordan McDonald down to the top of the key. Saints were in a 4-1 high.
And it looks like it's with Deer caught up with Cooper. So that's second foul of the game for Deer as McDonald gets it. McDonald over top Davis. Draws the whistle, going to the line to shoot for 2.
And this is one way to get back into the game. Going straight to the free throw line.
Just 4 attempts from the stripe in that, really in that first half from Niagara. Last year as a team, though, they were towards the bottom. Pardon me, I should correct myself. They were towards the top tier in attempts a game, but near dead last, in fact, dead last in free throw percentage, just 52.9% in 2018-19.
And again, it was quite surprising knowing that they had that type of statistic as McDonald misses the second free throw. I mean, with the firepower they had last year with Hutchinson Jr., Laquan Hilton.
And a lot
it's just interesting, to say the least.
Indeed, and don't forget guys like Alex Elliott that were getting involved with some of the offense, as well as Kivshawn Hadiache. St. Clair with the ball, just past 3 minutes into the second half. On We Digital Productions, Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders in the Monts on Time Express broadcast booth as it's projected away down low. Richardson draws the whistle up the floor. And that's going to lead to the inbound. And Coach Mosley was very happy with that last defensive possession with the traffic.
Well, that's something they needed in terms of effort here in the second half. The more intensity they showed down to the basket as far as defense is concerned, the better chances they'll have at the fast break and try to finish for good looks.
Davis out, Mercury in as Shallow goes in the paint, draws the whistle. Now he'll go to the line to shoot for 2. And for Shallow last night, did not even go to the line. In fact, getting ready for his first free throws of his Saints career after that.
They got a real good look down the lane for Shallow. But unfortunately, it was the stretched arm of Donald Mims that made him the guilty party.
Donald Mims already with a third personal on that one as the free throw falls. First career made free throw for Shallow. And Shallow's somebody that was seen when recruited by the Saints squad to not just be good on his perimeter shooting, but as well his perimeter defending, Aaron.
And we're going to see that unfold here, because anytime you have a two-way player, it's going to bring up a lot of promise for the team.
Also called as a 3-and-D type of player in today's basketball. Whistle caught on the floor and the scramble for the rebound. McDonald. And McDonald not happy as the technical's called. So this is going to lead to a technical free throw after McDonald tries to vent.
Now, this is not the way to vent. You have to show some sort of discipline. Your team is on the verge of coming back from what was a 20-point deficit near the end of the first quarter, and stuff like that isn't called for.
Second foul overall with McDonald. as it looks like Niagara wants to discuss things. What was down to just a 3-point deficit for the Knights has gone back up to 6. Today's game is presented by the Barber's Chair. For over 2 decades, the Barber's Chair team consists of experienced professional barbers ready to provide you with that perfect cut you've been looking for. Walk-ins are always welcome, or you can contact them today at www.barberschair.windsor.com to book your appointment today. Once again, the OFC playoffs get underway tomorrow night as the Windsor Fratmen look to get ready to face either the London to try and get a victory over the GTA Grizzlies with the top seed in the postseason, looking to get the victory to try and get a matchup against either London or Hamilton. That webcast starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time here on We Digital Productions. Aaron, your thoughts here in this third quarter? St. Clair starting to grind their way back up in the lead.
And you know what? It's because they're taking smarter shots. They're looking at smarter options. And they're about to go to the line for a technical free throw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And again, you have to keep in mind.
After the technical free throw. Right?
After the technical free throw, correct. But once again, Niagara has to calm things down because they don't want to have a self-inflicted mistake on their behalf because of that technical foul, because they were down by so many points and now they're finding themselves back in the ballgame, only stuck by 2 possessions.
Harmon lined up alongside Willis Paris, Showell, Mercury, and Deere. Tap back out to Willis Paris. Stripped away by Richardson, though, for the rebound. Just past 4 minutes into the third quarter. Hilton finding his man. Barty puts it in. He was a strong positive off the bench for Niagara that first half.
And Barty had a couple of blocks to his name, too. It's just a nice jump hook from him.
7 points for Barty, also had 4 rebounds in that frame. Willis Paris can't frame that shot into the hoop. Again picked up by Hilton, tries to bring it up quick. Shot, good. Barty again. And the lead just all of a sudden went from 6 to just 2 for St. Clair.
And when you have that positive on your team, it's best that you use that to your advantage. Who knows, Barty might go on a scoring tear.
Mercury down low, gets it. And that breaks up a cold spell for Jerry Mercury. Was ice cold the first half.
Compared to last night.
Richardson tries to cut in, stolen away by Deere. Gets by Hilton, drives on in, gets it over top his man. And Josiah Deere has been an absolutely stellar pickup for St. Clair.
Once again, his ability to score pretty much anywhere has been helping St. Clair out. Mercury the rebound.
Mercury able to get that miss, trying to get right on by Richardson. Driving inside Showell. Showell over top his man, no. Pass back out to Deere. Harmon trying to call for the pass, resets with 10 on the shot clock. Bad pass, quickly got into Willis Paris though on the recovery. Deere puts up the 3, no. Showell saves the possession down the baseline. Finds Showell again from Harmon off the front rim, no. Rebound this time picked up by Augustine. Leads it down the court. From one end to another, gets it. And Augustine starting to pile on the points a little bit now again.
Yeah, after all that traffic Niagara had to deal with, they were able to get free.
Willis Paris, good location, draws the whistle. That time McDonald. Third foul of the game for him on this play.
It's just good anticipation from McDonald, but again, it's all comes down to the body.
And Willis Paris going to go to the line to shoot for 2. Last night, 1 for 4 from the stripe. Remember, last season was a 61% shooter. Makes the first, brings the lead back up to 5. Willis Paris also been active on the glass all day so far.
Well, he realized he hasn't been able to score, most likely from the three-point line, but that's why he's on the court right now, JP. When you're a center, you're responsible for one thing, taking care of the glass.
Well, you say that, St. Clair decides they want to go small ball instead, as they bring Hall back in, along with Petty, Mercury, now lined up with Showell, along with Harmon. That is a full lineup of newcomers for St. Clair, whether it's freshmen or whether it's transfers.
This is a big challenge for the first years.
Outside, Richardson puts up the banker, yes!
No matter how St. Clair contested that shot, Richardson was able to get the arc to go and kiss it off the glass.
And the mascot dancing in the rafters on the offensive end. Petty. Back outside to Hall. Back to Petty. The give and go. Can't get it to work though. Showell chases down the board, draws the whistle though. Stays St. Clair's side. And that was in a battle for the board with Richardson.
Well, Richardson has been more effective in this third quarter alone.
Third personal against Richardson, believe. Harmon gets the inbound. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. St. Clair leads by 4. Petty out to Mercury, back outside Hall. Drives, baseline, jump shot, no. Second chance rejected from behind by Cooper. Whistle called late. That will send him to the line. 5th foul of the quarter for Niagara as a team.
That's a crying shame too, because they've been doing so well in anticipating St. Clair's shots.
And that is going against Cooper this time and immediately brings up some possible substitutions. First free throw good to make the lead up to 5. And this is something we've seen Mosley do. Constant adjustments. Free throw no good though. Barty with that board. Hilton brings it up. Hilton has been the main star on offense today for Niagara, 22 points. Loki to Cooper, tap to Harmon. Harmon,
Look
hello!
out. Oh, baby.
Jumped over top the scorer's table. And that, it looks like everyone's okay down here.
Athletic coordinator Tail Beer asking all of us if we're all right. Man, look at this. Look at this.
And that is head over heels, by the way.
I defy anybody that disagrees with the hops of these players. That was phenomenal. But we're back into this game, JP. We're alive.
Okay.
We're here.
Harmon's okay. Everyone else is okay here at the media desk and the scorer's table as they drive inside. One on the shot clock, it's no good. Petty rings it up off the board. Whistle called. And it's along the sideline, they're saying a pushing foul. That's going to bring St. Clair back to the line for Petty. And that time it's going to go against Daniel locally. The man they send to the stripe is Petty. And Petty, a 3-time All-Star in the Durham Region High School District. And it was someone talked about for leadership, rebounding, and defensive ability. This time, that rebounding on display with the putback.
Along with the responsibility, that's just a good effort and good awareness from St. Clair coming off the free throw.
Hilton, no good. Picked up by Hall off the contested play. Remember, St. Clair in the bonus for the next 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Hall, no good. Barty again with another rebound. Hilton again pushes it up. Drives in, can't get it on the contested shot over Harmon. Whistle called, marked out of bounds on the rebound attempt. They say Hilton went in and out. St. Clair possession regardless as Barty comes back out of the game for a breather. Brings McDonald back in. Minute 50 to go. Showell. Helping stretch the floor with Petty. Back outside Hall. Back to Showell. Showell cuts in. Finds Mercury. Gets it. And the lead's up to 10 all of a sudden for St. Clair. They've built a run again.
They're slowly but surely finding their scoring groove once again. Now Niagara has to do the same thing with Laquan Hilton with 22 points, but been a little bit stagnant in this quarter.
Inside, McDonald over traffic gets it.
What a body from McDonald.
Had a mismatch up against a guard/forward on that play. Petty, though, on the other end. Can't get it. McDonald picks up the rebound off the miss. Minute to go in the third quarter. Hilton cuts in. And the traffic again, no good. And the shot selection is starting to become a bit questionable on that end. Hall gets it to go on the other.
So after all those times the Saints would take it to the basket, this is the first time in a while that they were able to get a layup down.
And the defensive intensity has picked up for St. Clair as well in this frame as Mercury called for the reach.
That was their last foul to give of the quarter.
Fourth team foul of the frame, Mercury's first of the game. But again, I was going to say that the amount of defensive intensity and hustle has intensified very strongly in this quarter.
No question about it as the substitutions come on the floor.
And this will be the first time we see Dallas Aikens come into the game. Had been a member of the University of British Columbia's track and field team before joining the Saints last season. Playing in a few appearances. Keep an eye on him, number 11. While Hilton swishes for 3 more points. Make it 25 points on the day so far for Hilton. Petty no good on the other end. Ball goes out of bounds. Niagara possession. Shot clock is off here. What's the call? What's going to be the play call route?
Give it to Hilton and get out the way. Try to look for an isolation to finish strong.
Hilton brings it up. Petty guarding him. Man-to-man defense, isolation is the call. 7 on the game clock. Pump fakes, forced to pass out. McDonald cuts in over Mercury, can't get it. And after 3 quarters of play, the St. Clair Saints lead by 7, 64-57. Way back after these messages, you're watching We Digital Productions for OCAA men's basketball action.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Taking a look at some of the fans here today. One of the fans just so happens to be head coach of the Windsor Express, Bill Jones. As we're back for more OCAA men's basketball action. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders, the Mounts On Time Express broadcast booth. As we get it ready to go, Saints up by 7, Aaron. While it wasn't the best of quarters by any means, the defense helped them by the end of the frame.
Absolutely, and first off, we talk about Niagara. Laquan Hilton, he warmed up near the end of the quarter. But for St. Clair, they're finding more opportunities to go down the basket and take advantage of their depth. But there's a lot of things that have to be tightened up for the final 10 minutes.
Taking a look at the 2019 men's basketball championship scores. As mentioned a little bit before, the St. Clair College Saints losing the bronze medal game. That gets them the bronze with the double knockout. That brought the Durham Lords to the gold medal game. And because of the double knockout, it brought them to a second game after their first victory against Humber. 2-2 is that score at the moment down in Oshawa. Back underway for the fourth quarter for men's basketball action as Hall sent down to the deck, no good. On the floor for St. Clair, Hall lined up with Petty along with Davis. Rounding the 5, Aikens and Mercury. Travel called against Niagara. We're going the other direction. And Niagara had some good spurts of points and stints throughout that last frame too.
And it worked out in their favor as well. Again, Hilton waking up, outscoring St. Clair once again in the quarter, 21-19.
2-3 zone for the defense. Mercury cuts in, can't get it. Draws the whistle though. So that's gonna bring him to the line to shoot 2 after the contact on the wrist. Here's a look.
All right, here's Hall getting the great fake off of Richardson. And Mercury just maneuvering his way to the basket. And the foul was called.
That foul going against Augustine. First team foul. And there's gonna be a lot to keep an eye on with the fouls because you had Cooper along with Barty and Mims with 3 fouls, 2 for McDonald entering the frame. And that didn't include the technical for Niagara in that second half.
And again, those are key factors to take in as we wind down this game.
After the free throw, 66-57, about a minute into the fourth quarter. Richardson lined up with Cooper, Hilton, along with Augustine rounding at the 5, McDonald. Hilton puts up the 3. The contested shot no good. That time, Miles picking up the rebound. Outside to Akins. Back outside. Swung back in, back outside. Petty for the long 3, no good. Didn't even draw iron. And St. Clair trying to rush up the floor quickly. Richardson, turbos, blocked by Davis. And a whistle called technical. And it's going to go against Richardson, the second technical against Niagara on the day.
And again, Niagara finds themselves right back into this game, but it's mistakes like that is going to keep them out of it.
And I'm curious what happened on that side of the floor to trigger the technical. That was just after the block. Take a look.
We might see the replay of that. Richardson
Right there.
wasn't happy right at Paul Carter. And we've known Paul Carter for years. He's not going to take flack from anybody.
And of course, a Hall of Fame official in this region too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the worst part about that is, yeah, they give up the free throw. They gave up the ball right again.
the thing is though with that though, in this crucial moment, it's still early in the frame. Yes, 67-57 with about 8:38 to go. They gave up possession of the ball with the technical.
Exactly. And now St. Clair could find a way to ease themselves back in with a more comfortable lead.
So possession arrow back towards St. Clair at the moment. Shallow. Back to Petty. 5 on the shot clock. Pass back outside. Davis has a man jump out of his shoes. Misses though. Petty with the second chance rebound. Can't get it. Cooper picks it up. Off of Mercury, but a whistle called. And that's going to be against Mercury, it appears. Yes, that appears to be a first.
Now Niagara has to come back the full steam ahead. Have to find some more answers. You have Hilton back. You have Hilton in the game along with Jordan McDonald. That could be an interesting 1-2 punch as he goes up with Dalen Davis.
No foul is the official call when they go over and back as the putback goes in. And another whistle caught on the floor. And it looks like a shoe malfunction for Davis. His back sole of his shoe came off. He needs to retie it.
Well, when you have a full body on you, it's going to knock you out of your shoes.
At the same time, you need to make sure your shoes are secure because if you play without a shoe, you can risk injury.
Well, if the shoe fits, JP, there you go.
Okay. The punniness from Aaron Sanders, everybody with 7:45 in the frame. Akins, baseline, no good. Ball bouncing around, picked up by St. Clair. Mercury gets it. And Jerry Mercury letting his presence known again in this second half. Hilton trying to find a response to McDonald. Down low, overshoots it, no good. Just too much defensive pressure for Mercury from behind that time, as that one's turned over. And the defensive pressure has been something that stood out all third and fourth quarters. St. Clair allowed a lot of third and fourth quarter comebacks last season under the first year of coaches Segan and Sykes. This year, it seems like if they allow those comebacks, they've been able to pull it back with some adjustments by the middle of the frame.
And yesterday was another example of that. Mohawk came right back, but St. Clair found a way to score as the foul was called down low, but they were able to maintain that lead throughout.
McDonald draws the whistle on the drive. And that's going to go against Willis Paris. That's the third foul for him. So Willis Paris and Davis now have 3 fouls to keep an eye on. 2 fouls apiece for Harmon and Deere. Pardon me, first personal. Should be second for Willis Paris. And that foul could be important later on today. Mercury no good. Mercury to Harmon. Back outside, Mercury for three, no. Chases down his own miss again, gets it, no. And what I was trying to say with the fouls is a lot of players don't even have a foul on St. Clair's roster right now. That could be huge down the stretch.
They could use it up, but they can't get careless with the way they foul either.
If they have to foul.
If they have to foul, yes.
Hilton with 7 on the shot clock after the rejection. Outside Barney for three, yes!
My.
And he's been a positive all day long, 14 points off the bench.
He was able to get that arc going real high, and it worked out.
So the sixth man continues to score. Well, Deere, 6 minutes left, gives it out to Harmon. To Willis Paris, outside Harmon for the long bomb, no. Picked up again on the rebound, Augustine, brought up by the Knights. Hilton chucks it up, can't bank it in. Second chance, McDonald, no good. 7-point advantage still for St. Clair after the contested jumpers. Shallow, quick pass, quick whistle.
It looks like a blood-related timeout right here for Jerry Mercury.
Yes, he had been you see that on the cheek, was wiping that on his jersey just after the last shot. So he's going to have to go and see the training staff here. Again, that is an air safety precaution here in the OCAA. That substitution brings Deere, along with Harmon, Shallow, Hall, onto the floor, rounding out the 5 is Willis Paris. 6 on the shot clock. Deere for 3, no. Picked up by Loki.
St. Clair has to realize the three-point bomb isn't going to go for them all the time.
Pick and roll coming up. Fading away is Hilton, no. Picked up again by St. Clair. Up on the fast break, pushing the tempo. Deere can't make the hook shot in the lane. Cooper stripped away, and the rebound still stays Niagara's side, though.
And I still think this game could work out in Niagara's favor, because look at all the easy shots St. Clair has been missing or been chucking up. With the depth that Niagara has, they're still right into this game. It's a 7-point difference. That could change.
And depth is absolutely important in a ball game, especially at the high tempo level of offense you see in the OCAA.
Indeed, indeed. You have Kevin Cooper right down low with Willis Paris. That could be a big difference.
Remember, he didn't see much playing time in the first half, much more in the second. Long shot, Grace locally no good. Picked up by Willis Paris. Pushing the pace now is the Saints. Willis Paris can't get the slam. Finds Shallow on the second chance. Swish!
And boy, was Shallow able to bail the St. Clair Saints out of that big opportunity.
And that's a big bucket. Brings the lead back up to double digits with 4 minutes left.
Look out.
Hilton, one player goes down. We're going the other direction. And a charge drawn by Harmon going against Cooper.
We have one more look. The Willis Paris had daylight, but could not fill it in. And Shallow, all by himself, and knocked down the 3.
And you have to wonder, Aaron, did the momentum, in your opinion, just change because of those 2 plays?
Yes, because Niagara did not respond immediately after that missed dunk. He thought Willis Paris was going to make it, and they would go right back on it in the offense. But when it comes to a broken play, you have to keep on moving.
4 minutes to go in the 4th travel called on the play. Today's game is presented once again by the Mont On Time Express. Located in Windsor, Ontario, Mont On Time Express offers its service to anyone in Canada or the U.S. From minivans to 24-foot trucks, recommended to help with any move, big or small, quick and easy. For our customers, book your next move today at toll-free 877-250-8282. On the court, meanwhile, we're going back the other direction once more after the turnover.
Yeah, the Knights were looking for an alley-oop, but it just got thwarted.
72-62, 3:45 to go. Knights needing some defensive stops. Deere says, I want a three instead, makes it.
And this was the exact time where he picked up the pace the last game, and that sealed the deal for St. Clair.
Yeah, that stellar fourth quarter to seal it for St. Clair. Stripped away by Willis Paris. Hall keeping the pressure slow this time. Up for three. Deere gets it again. The microwave with a second straight triple.
And you see, he had a little bit of confidence right there as he's trying to follow through for that shot, but boy, did that shot go through.
Did the same thing last night, strips it away this time. Deere, slowed down by Showell to Harmon. Back to Showell. He puts up a three, can't get it. That time picked up on the rebound by Augustine. St. Clair with the momentum. Nearly stolen away again. McDonald down low, can't get it off the banker. Fresh 14 on the second chance. Augustine can't get off the front rim.
Oh, that's Heartbreak City right there.
And St. Clair has all the momentum now, by far. What was a 7-point lead has gone up even more so to 16. Deere with the ball. 5 on the shot clock. To Hall. To Deere for three. Can't wedge it. Kick down the floor to Barty on the fast break. Draws the whistle against Showell. Just the second team foul of the quarter for Showell, his second. Hassan Showell caught for the personal. Now bring Barty to the line. Timeout called on the floor by Niagara with 2 minutes exactly to go. St. Clair, a stellar run in this frame. Today's game, once again, is presented by The Barber's Chair. For over 2 decades, The Barber's Chair team consists of experienced professional barbers ready to provide you with that perfect cut you've been looking for. Walk-ins are always welcome. You can also contact The Barber's Chair at thebarberschairwindsor.com to book your appointment today. The fans in the stands are dancing. The players are happy in the huddles. A big lead after a big run after those 2 big momentum plays a couple minutes ago.
And once again, it all came from the player who got the job done last night in Josiah Deere. Back-to-back triples from him just shifted the momentum in St. Clair's favor. Niagara unable to find the good shots.
And those fans are extremely happy because St. Clair looking to go 2-0 to start the season here with this victory. The question is, can they cap it off? Up by big, but anything can happen.
Yeah, especially under 2 minutes.
Again, remember, Barty at the line after the foul by Showell. Misses. And another big miss at the line. There were just 6 attempts by Niagara in the first 3 quarters. They missed 3 of them. Second free throw's good, brings the lead back down to 15. Press breaks off. 1:53 to go in the fourth quarter. Petty, Showell, Harmon, Hall, Williams Paris round out the 5 on the floor for St. Clair. Willis Paris gives it to Petty. Kicks it back out to Hall. 8 on the clock. Willis Paris, corner 3, can't get it. Hilton picks it up. Niagara needs some buckets and now. Outside Barty. To Richardson. Cuts inside for the mid-range. Back out to Barty. Back to Richardson. 9 on the clock. Puts it up. The jumper gets it. And Johnny B. Good making the mid-range. St. Clair needing to make a bucket for the dagger. Niagara needing to stop. Coach Mosley telling his team, play hard to the end of this one. 1 minute to go. Hall trying to find Harmon, can't get it to him, but tapped out by Niagara. 5 on the shot clock, Aaron.
A little bit anxious on that attempt. And now St. Clair again still trying to find ways to end this game and go 2-0.
Harmon kicked out to Petty, wide open, gets it!
That's got to do it right there, JP.
And that's the dagger with 46 seconds left. And Coach Mosley seen that coming. Told Richardson, get on him. Richardson wasn't there for the defense that possession. That time helps tap it out of bounds. But that big make just got the dagger from Petty. 81-65, 35.5 seconds to go. Showell, one of the players you have to be in having the discussion though overall for the Player of the Game award.
No question about it.
Him and Petty both having stellar ball games, as well as we've seen by Deere. Petty again with the layup. Shot clock is off. For the Knights, they'll drop a second straight game to start the campaign for St. Clair. They're on the path to start 2-0 to the 2019-20 season. Hilton dribbles it out, gives the ball away. Harmon takes the steal. St. Clair wins a second straight ball game. And a strong start to the 2019-20 season for the St. Clair Saints on both sides. Women's and men's teams start 2-0. Post-game coverage coming up after these messages. You're watching Wheatager Productions from the St. Clair College Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario.
I want to understand why.
I want this to be perfect.
I want to be inspired.
I want to be challenged.
No matter the reason, our passion to learn brought us here.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Welcome back to the Sportsplex as the St. Clair Saints go up 2-0 to start the season with a final score of 83-65 against the Niagara Knights. Joining me is the player of the game, Hussam Shallow, who ended up with 20 points. And Hussam, really great game. First of all, you come off the bench in the second quarter and you just started to become unconscious from the three-point line. I mean, what was the key today?
I don't know. I just didn't want to hesitate. Last game, I had a bad game. I was just hesitating. And this game, my coach told me not to hesitate, and I just kept shooting the ball.
With you being in your first year with the St. Clair Saints team, how are you liking it so far?
It's fun. The atmosphere is fun. The crowd is fun, and my teammates, they're always supporting me, and my coaches too.
Well, you and the team are now 2-0. I mean, what are your thoughts right now?
We're trying to go undefeated for the rest of the season and just go to the Nationals and win a championship.
That's a very big goal, but anything could happen. Congratulations, Hussam. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
All right, Hussam Shallow was the player of the game. It's time to bring Royal Church in as we sign off for the weekend here at the Sportsplex. But what a terrific game. And once again, the St. Clair Saints prevail in the second half when it looked like Niagara was going to come back and win this thing.
Yeah, you're right, Aaron. Niagara was coming back. Looked like they had a little inspiration. They just come out of a timeout, did about 3 or 4 really good things on the court. Coach was happy. They were doing well. Then, as basketball does, it turned. It changed. St. Clair got a little energy. They got excited. They were sort of going between, 3 and 6 points, 3 and 5 points. It was kind of in there. Then they stretched it out to 12. And I think when that happened, Niagara got a little discouraged. Darnell Petty, I thought, played a good game at the end especially. The good sign is for St. Clair, they played their best basketball at the end of the game when it counted the most.
Absolutely, a big difference from what happened last year. Now they go on the road against Fanshawe and Lambton. We're going to see how that plays out. But as for now, we are done here, Royal. Thank you for your time. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, again, the final score, the St. Clair Saints 83, the Niagara Knights 65. We thank you all for tuning in here on We Digital Productions, but don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the OFC semifinal between the GTA Grizzlies and the Windsor Fratmen. Justin Prince will have the call live at Alumni Field at the University of Windsor, so be sure to tune in. The winner of that will play the winner of the Hamilton Hurricanes and the London Beefeaters game. Other than that, we are done here at the Sportsplex. First weekend of OCAA actions in the book. We hope to see you here again real soon. But until then, on behalf of the entire crew here at We Digital Productions, Rail Church and JP Justin Prince, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.